It's great to be here with GroupM Connect's Jack Smith and Ruud Wanck. How are you enjoying Dmexco so far, guys?
So far it's great. I mean, it's probably the most action-packed two-day conference that I go to anywhere in the world.
And it's busy for you because you're back in Europe next week, aren't you?
Yeah, always back and forth. Always back and forth.
So what do you find is useful about Dmexco?
Useful, that's quite a difficult, it's good to get a perspective on all the companies that are out there and everything that's happening. And I think what's for me interesting, because I know there's always been so much questions around what's the role of an agency group like yours, and we're going into all this digital, and I think the best thing I take out of this one is look at all the complexity and the hundreds of companies around you. I think there's more of a role for a media agency than ever, I would say, to help navigate advertisers in this world.
Yes, so I mean, have you been round the stalls then? There seems to be a little bit of a divide between the two rooms opposite us.
Yeah, there's a little bit of divide, but I mean, if you take it in its entirety, I think Ruud's point about complexity is right. You know, the things that we have to do now as people who support media agencies, particularly as a technologist, is make things simpler, connect things together. There are more things to connect together, and empower the humans who are actually working on the client business to do better work.
Lots of talk about connections here as well that I've heard. I mean, Ruud, you spoke to my colleague Alex at the end of last year, in fact, and you said that the industry needed a major reset. Obviously, we're 9 months in, trying to work out what date it is now. Do you think that we're working towards that? Has anything been done?
Yeah, I think it's definitely working towards that. I think the one of the people actually in our organization, he wrote a little booklet talking about waves of development. And you've got surfers riding the waves. And if you look at the sort of the first development area was very much, I would say the first surfers were Google, Facebook and the companies. And I think when you start seeing around, you also see a lot of the familiar names in media actually come back. And I think that's sort of the capture of the second wave, where you start seeing what we still sometimes refer to as the more traditional publishers actually moving into this space. You see a lot of the media companies coming back into the space and really embracing this space. So yeah, I think we're really at the starting point of that second wave.
The starting point, what do you think is the next step?
I think the next step is that where we currently have a market environment that's very much, I would say, embraced and dominated by new players and new ones out there. I think we're really going to see media communications, but also content coming sort of back into this game as well, and really those all being much more connected and actually therefore also much broader.
Talking about connections, you guys acquired the Exchange Lab recently, and how's that been working out, and have you been working together? Yeah,
it's been going extremely well. I mean, if you think about GroupM is a 27,000 person company acquiring a company that small, and a lot of us in Connect have gone through acquisitions with WPP. We've probably deployed and developed faster with that team than we have with any other acquisition we've made. So it's been quite rapid and getting it in the hands of users really quickly. So it's been
successful.
I'm really happy about it, to be honest.
Any other acquisitions in the pipeline?
Perhaps. I mean, WPP did 52 so transactions last year, about that. So we are always looking at things that are interesting.
We'll keep our eyes out. So what trends have you guys been noticing around here then in the kind of programmatic field particularly?
So I think one of the most important ones I see is that and it's been also a lot of talk about it, is bringing the art and the science together.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the last couple of years, it was very much about moving from the madman to the mathman. And I think a lot of the discussions right now is, and I see that as the major trends, with technology evolving and content actually playing, I might even say, a more predominant role, because now we can deliver the right message at the right time.
But now it has to be a message people want to see.
Exactly, needs to be beautiful, needs to be relevant. And I think really that sort of merger between the art and science coming back in, I see that as one of the major trends, which maybe is also why a lot of the original content producers are coming back into this world and are now actually also present at Dmexco.
So what else do you guys think you'll see while you're at Dmexco, or what else have you got planned?
Obviously, we talk to clients and partners here a lot. I mean, I just like to walk around and see companies that I don't normally see. So when I go to a conference like this, I like to find the very small two persons sitting at a very small booth at a card table and walk up and ask them what they do. So that for me is the most interesting part of shows like this.
And what about you? What are you planning to get out of the rest of Dmexco?
Well, for the rest of Dmexco, it's actually done. I have my suitcase around the corner, so I'm out. But what for me the most sort of important is just to see how the different companies are developing. Obviously, the presence of all our agencies and all our groups here, and as Jack said, seeing clients, meeting with business partners. So it's actually also very, very convenient because everybody's here, so you can create sort of 2 jam-packed days, see a lot of people. It saves a lot of travel.
Fit it all in. And what about the future for you guys then? What's the next step?
Well, we've been focusing a lot on data, but we already have acquired a tremendous amount of data. Now it's about taking that, turning it into information, and putting it in the hands of people when we're doing analysis, or having machines take over some parts of campaign management. So that kind of transformation is happening. I don't see machines replacing humans at all. The role of the media agency for me is not in.
No.
It's
we can work together, right?
It's safe because you still need interpreters of that information as humans, but we can also use machines to supplement and manage the complexity of the really complex campaigns that we have.
And scale up, I guess.
Yeah. So I think for us now the next step is when I first of all specifically talk about GroupM Connect. We obviously launched that now almost 2 years ago, really with the ambition to develop our group from media investment management to real-time investment management, almost like an incubator. We've developed very quickly and created a big footprint, including the acquisitions we've done. And I think the focus is now really on sort of the ambition we always had. It's not, GroupM Connect is not a separate company, it's not a new agency. So I think for us now the next step is now that we've got this foundation laid out and we've got a couple of acquisitions in, there will be more to follow, is that the next step is really about developing that area where we truly enable our 4M agencies to start delivering consultancy and to start delivering best practice to our clients.
Fabulous. Well, thank you very much for chatting to us, and enjoy
your
flight home and enjoy the rest of Dmexco.
I will.
Thank you.
Thanks.